What's a story, amigos? This is Kino with some cool stories for today's story time.
First, we're rhyming and rolling to the ABCs.
I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree.
Then, follow the adventures of three friends who get into trouble for something they didn't do.
Bigger boys were there.
And in our last story, meet a boy who wants a dog.
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bain, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. By the annual financial support from viewers like you. And by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television.
Divinely. Bravo. Well, are you all ready for our first story?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Story.
All right.
And does everybody know what it's called?
Chicka, chicka, boom, boom.
Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. Here we go. It's by Bill Martin Jr. and John Archambault. Illustrated by Lois Allert.
Okay.
A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree. We said D to E, F, G. I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree.
Yeah.
Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. Will there be enough room? Here comes H up the coconut tree. And I and J and tag along K, all on the way up the coconut tree. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. Will there be enough room? Look who's coming. L, M, N, P, and Q, R, S, and T, U, V. Still more W, and X, Y, Z. The whole alphabet of the... Oh, no! Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. Skip, scat, scoodle-doo, flip-flop, flee. Everybody running to the coconut tree. Moms and papas and uncles and aunts hug their little dears in dusty pants.
Yeah.
Help us up, cried ABC. Next from the pile up, skinny D. And stub toe E and patched up F. Then comes G. All left right. H is tangled up with I. J, I'm about to cry. L is knotted like a tie. M is looped and is stooped. O is twisted, alley-oop. Skit, scat, scoodle-doo, flip-flop, flee. Look who's coming, it's Black-Eyed Pay. Q, R, S, and Loose Tooth T. Then U, V, W, wiggle, jiggle, free. Last to come, X, Y, Z. And the sun goes down on the coconut tree. Oh. But, chicka, chicka, boom, boom, look, there's a full moon. A is out of bed, and this is what he said. Dare, double dare, you can't catch me. I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom!
That was great. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. A is for awesome. That was an awesome ABC book. And B is for book, and C is for can't get enough of them.
That's very good, Kino. You know what I especially liked about Chicka Chicka Boom Boom? The collages.
The who?
The collages. Collages are pictures made up of bits and pieces of things like paper or cloth. You can really use anything, but Lois Ellert, the artist for Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, used colorful paper cutouts for the letters and for different parts of the coconut tree, see?
No.
You know what, Kino? I think my hat's kind of like a collage, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Hey, that is a cool hat, Amanda. Do you always wear it? I always wear mine.
No, I only wear this on special occasions. It's sort of a lucky hat for me.
Well, I wear my hat on almost all occasions, except sleeping and taking a bath. My dad calls it my lid.
Your lid.
Yeah. You know, if I took it off now, it'd be sort of embarrassing because it makes a funny-looking ring in my hair all the way around my head.
I know just what you mean. It's called hat head.
Yep. Hat head.
Well, hat head or not, I wore this hat in honor of this book. It's about a very special woman and a hat. Would you like to hear me read it?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
Come over here. Sit near me. You sit here. It's called Chicken Sunday, and it's written and illustrated by Patricia Polacco. Stuart and Winston were my neighbors. They were my brothers by a solemn ceremony we had performed in their backyard one summer. They weren't the same religion as I was. They were Baptists. Their grandma, Eula May Walker, was my grandma now. My babushka had died 2 summers before. Sometimes my mother let me go to church on Sunday with them. How we loved to hear Miss Eula sing. She had a voice like slow thunder and sweet rain. We'd walk to church, back and forth. She'd take my hand as we crossed College Avenue. Even though we've been churning up like decent folk ought to, she'd say, I don't want you to step in front of one of those 2 fast cars. You'll be as flat as a hen's tongue. Oh. She squeezed my hand. When we passed Mr. Kondinsky's hat shop, Miss Eula would always stop and look in the window at the wonderful hats. Then she'd sigh, and we'd walk on. We called those Sundays Chicken Sundays because Miss Eula almost always fried chicken for dinner. There'd be collard greens with bacon, a big pot of hoppin' John, corn on the cob, and fried spoon bread. One Sunday at the table, we watched her paper fan flutter back and forth, pulling chicken fried air along with it. She took a deep breath. Her skin glowed as she smiled. Then she told us something we already knew. That Easter bonnet in Mr. Kondinsky's window is the most beautiful I ever did see, she said thoughtfully. The 3 of us exchanged looks. We wanted to get her that hat more than anything in the world. Stuart reached into the hole in the trunk of our wish tree in the backyard. He pulled out a rusty Band-Aid tin. The 3 of us held our breath as we counted the money inside that we had been saving for weeks. If we are going to get that hat for Miss Eula in time for Easter, we are going to need a lot more than this, I announced. Well, maybe we should ask Mr. Kondinsky if we could sweep up or something to earn the rest of the money, Stuart said. I don't know, Winnie said fearfully. He's such a strange man. He never smiles at anyone. He always looks so mean. Well, we all agreed that it was worth a try anyway. The next day, we took a shortcut down the alley and back of the hat shop. Bigger boys were there. They were yelling. Eggs flew past us and pelted Mr. Kondinsky's back door. Just as the boys ran away, the door flew open. Mr. Kondinsky glared straight at us. You there, he yelled. Why do you kids do things like this? But it wasn't us. It wasn't us. Stuart tried to say, but Mr. Kandinsky wouldn't listen. All I want to do is live my life in peace. I'm calling your grandmother, he shouted as he wagged his finger in Stuart's face. Miss Eula was waiting in her living room for us. Miss Eula, we didn't throw those eggs, I sobbed. Some big boys did, Stuart sputtered. What were you doing at the back of the shop in the first place, she asked. We knew that we couldn't tell her the truth, so we just stood there and cried. She looked at us for a long while. Baby dears, I want to believe you. Heaven knows that I brought you children up to always tell the truth. If you say you didn't do it, then I believe you. It's too bad, though, she went on to say. That poor man has suffered so much in his life. He deserves more than eggs thrown at him. You know, he thinks you threw the eggs. You'll have to show him that you are good people. You'll have to change his mind somehow. In my kitchen the next day, we thought and thought. How can we win him over when he thinks that we threw those eggs, Stuart asked. He doesn't even like us, Winston chirped. Eggs, I said quietly. Eggs? Stuart asked. Eggs! I went to the kitchen drawer and took out a lump of beeswax, a candle, a small funnel and a wooden handle, and some packets of yellow, red, and black dye. Mom helped me show the boys how to decorate eggs the way my booby had taught us, the way they do it in the old country. We made designs on the egg shells with hot wax and dyed them, and finally melted the wax patterns off. We put the eggs in a basket, even though we were afraid, marched into Mr. Kandinsky's shop and put them on the counter. He raised his eyebrows and glowered at us. Then his eyes dropped to the basket. Spasiba, he said softly. That means thank you in Russian. Pisanki eggs, he said as he looked closely. I haven't seen these since I left my homeland. We didn't throw those eggs at your door, Mr. Kandinsky, we told him. He looked at us for a minute. Well, then you have great courage to come here. Chutzpah, you have great chutzpah. Then his eyes glistened and his mouth curled into a warm smile. Come, have some tea with me. We spent the whole afternoon talking together, having poppy seed cakes and strong tea. He told us about his life. We told him about ours. When we finally got the courage to ask about doing odd jobs to earn some extra money, he apologized and told us that there was no work. We didn't tell him what we wanted the money for. It didn't seem the right thing to do. Our hearts sank. I tell you this, he said thoughtfully. These eggs are as beautiful as my hats. Stewart, Winnie, and I looked at each other. And it is almost Easter, he went on to say. I'm sure that people would love these eggs. Set up a table and sell them right here in my shop. For the next few days, we worked very hard. We made almost a dozen Pazanki eggs. When people came in, they picked them up and said things like, beautiful, splendid, intricate, glorious. We sold them all in one single day. That afternoon, when all the eggs were gone, we counted our money. We had more than enough for the hat. Just as we were about to tell Mr. Kandinsky that we wanted to buy the hat, he came out from the back room holding a beautiful hat box, gift-wrapped. Keep your money, children, he said softly. I have seen Miss Eula admire this. It is for her, isn't it? Tell her that I know you are very good children. Such good children. When Easter Sunday arrived, we thought our hearts would burst. When we watched Miss Eula open the hat box, she held us close as big tears rolled down her cheeks. Oh. Our hearts sang along with the choir that Sunday. She looked so beautiful in that hat. When it was time for her solo, we knew that she was singing just for us. Her voice was like slow thunder and sweet rain. Later that day, as Miss Eula sat at the head of the table, she said, oh, baby dears, I can die happy now. And after I'm dead, on Chicken Sundays, I want you to boil up some chicken, bones, gravy, and all, and pour it over my grave. So late at night when I'm hungry, I can reach out and have me some. Then she rolled her head back and laughed from a deep and holy place inside. Winston Stewart and I are grown up now. Our old neighborhood has changed some, yet it's still familiar, too. The freeway rumbles over the spot where Mr. Kandinsky's shop once stood. I think of him often, and his glorious hats. We lost Miss Eula some time back, but every year we take some chicken soup up to the Mountain View Cemetery and do just as she asked. Sometimes, when we are especially quiet inside, we can hear singing, a voice that sounds like slow thunder and sweet rain. The end.
Oh, wow. I really like that story.
What a wonderful book. And what wonderful drawings.
Do you know what, Kino?
What?
I have another book that I think you'd find very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting. Well, what's it called?
It's called Any Kind of Dog, and it's by Lynn Reiser.
Whoa, Amanda, how did you know that I'd be very, very interested in a book about a dog?
Well,
You know that I've been wishing and wishing for my own dog for a long, long time.
well, I bumped into your mom the other day, and we were talking, and she just happened to mention that you're always daydreaming about having a dog for a pet.
Yep, that's right. But my mom always says it'll be a lot of trouble. She says, we'll see. Well, we'll see usually means no.
Well, that can be the case, but we'll see. Kino!
Yeah?
Oh, I have to run off and do an errand. Oh, Lucy, could you read the story for me?
Oh, I'd love to.
Good.
Well, are you coming back, Amanda?
Oh, yes, in just a minute. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, well then, let's read the story that I'd be very, very interested in.
Okay, here we go. Any kind of dog. Richard wanted a dog. Any kind of dog. But his mother said a dog was too much trouble. So she gave him a caterpillar. The caterpillar was very nice. It looked a little like a dog. Lassa apso. But it was not a dog. Richard wanted a dog. His mother said a dog was too much trouble. So she gave him a mouse. The mouse was very nice. It looked a little like a dog. Chihuahua. But it was not a dog. Richard wanted a dog. His mother said a dog was too much trouble. So she gave him a baby alligator. The baby alligator was very nice. It looked a little like a dog. No, dachshund. But it was not a dog. Richard wanted a dog. His mother said a dog was too much trouble. So she gave him a lamb. The lamb was very nice. It looked a little like a dog. Bedlington Terrier. But it was not a dog. Richard wanted a dog. His mother said a dog was too much trouble. So she gave him a pony. The pony was very nice. It looked a little like a dog. Great Dane. But it was not a dog. Richard wanted a dog. His mother said a dog was too much trouble. So she gave him a lion. The lion was very nice. It looked like a dog. Chow chow. But it was not a dog. Richard wanted a dog. His mother said a dog was too much trouble.
Bear.
So she gave him a bear. The bear was very nice. It looked a little like a dog. Newfoundland. But it was not a dog. All of the animals were very nice. But Richard still wanted a dog. So his mother gave him a dog. The dog was very nice. It looked exactly like a dog. Just a dog. The dog was a lot of trouble. But it was worth it.
Oh, that was great. That was a very, very interesting story to me. It was almost the story of my life, in fact. Not the parts about the lion and the bear and the alligator, because I don't think I'd want any of those for a pet.
What about the part about the pony?
Well, I'd like to have a pony for a pet, but forget about it. My mom wouldn't even say, we'll see for that one. We don't have room for a pony. The part that was the story of my life was the part about a dog being too much trouble. That's what my mom keeps saying to me.
Well, having a dog is a real responsibility. There are a lot of things that you have to do to keep him happy and healthy.
Well, I know. You have to make sure it gets the right foods, and you have to keep its water dish filled.
And you have to take it out for walks every day.
And you have to give it baths and comb its fur and take him to the veterinarian, the animal doctor.
And you also have to give it lots of love.
I know, and I don't mind at all. I've promised my mom that I'll do all those things. The loving part will be easy, and the rest isn't really that hard. That's when she says, we'll see.
Hi, everybody. I finished my errand.
Oh, hi, Amanda. You were right about any kind of dog. It was very, very interesting. Richard finally got his very own pet dog, even though his mom said it was too much trouble. Just like my mom. I only wish I could have a dog like Richard.
Well, Kino, remember when I told you that I met your mother the other day?
Uh-huh.
And remember I told you she said that you're always daydreaming about having a dog?
Yup, yup.
Well, your mother and I had a nice little talk, and guess what?
What?
I paid a visit to the animal shelter, and inside my hat, there's a surprise for you.
A puppy? For me? Oh, I can't believe it. Wow. Wowee. This is the happiest day of my life. And my mom said it was okay?
She sure did.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. I'll love him, and I'll take such good care of him, and oh, is it a him?
Well, in point of fact, he is him.
Oh, I'll feed him, and I'll walk him, and brush him, and play with him.
I'm sure you will.
Oh, and thank you, Mom, wherever you are.
Oh, let's not forget about our story picks now.
Oh, I'd like to recommend a sad book, but with a happy ending. It's called Whole Dog, and it's about adopting a pet, just like Kino has.
And I would like to recommend Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mole. The author, Jane Yolen, uses wonderful words to help us feel and smell and see what the heroine, little Eeny, does.
And remember, everybody, keep a story in your heart.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Oh, I want to
Boy, I am so happy I could howl. Ow!
Today's Storytime books are Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, Chicken Sunday, Any Kind of Dog, Pole Dog, and Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mole. You can find these and other books at your local library.
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bain, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, by the annual financial support from viewers like you, and by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television. Storytime is a production of KCET Los Angeles.